Okay, probably one of my favorite vegetable for the Christmas table is the parsnip. I'm going to show you something today. For me, this is the best way to make a roast parsnip. What I'm going to do firstly is peel these parsnips. I think parsnips are the best root vegetable to have on a roast dinner, especially for Christmas. Like all peeling, it's one stroke top to bottom. These are very posh parsnips. These are not chuck them in the oven, bit of honey and bit of fennel seeds or whatever. These are really posh parsnips. These are the parsnips that we use at Trinity to garnish our game daily. So they're like a beautiful fondant glass-like parsnip. This is me obsessing over a parsnip to make something that's absolutely next level. And I hope you'll stick with them. But there are some little principles here to make this as beautiful as it is. We're gonna just cut the tops and the bottoms off. So we're trying to get even size of the parsnips, first of all. What's very important, and I can't explain this enough, is that the knife you use for this next part is the sharpest one you have in your armory. So what we need to do is just cut that parsnip straight down the middle, hold it really firm, put the knife through, and just bring the knife back. What we're trying to do here is create a really smooth surface. The smoother that is, the better that parsnip's going to be once we finish. All right, there we go. So straight through like that. Then we go back to the peeler, back to our rubbish compost pan again. Take the peeler and then just take off those edges, a couple of bits on each edge, like so. Take off the bottom like that. Take off the top, so we're almost kind of shaping the parsnip a little bit, like so. All the way around all of them. This feels like crazy amount of detail, but ultimately this is just what we do at Trinity to create that attention to detail, to create that finished look and that consistency to the finished product that we want. Yeah, it's very easy to just not pay much attention to a simple root vegetable, but if you've got that detail across everything you do, across whole of your ingredient estate, you're much more likely to achieve the results you want. Right, let's lose that. And we can come back to our parsnips. First of all, we need to do is just set this pan up. And you'll note that pan is still cold. Really good heavy base pan. This one from Hestan, the Pro Bond, I absolutely love, and this will hold all the heat for us. Just cut that butter like so. So we're getting a flat bottom base for our parsnips. One packet will be enough for this at the moment. Like so. Pop that in there. It's quite a lot of butter for parsnips, but ultimately that's the way we achieve that. Now, that very smooth side there, that needs to go face side down and get pushed in like so, all right? There we go, and we're going to squeeze them as many as we can, keep them tight. I'm just leaving like a couple of mil between each one. That's important. You don't want a huge gap because then they're going to start floating and moving around, and we don't want that. So we want the parsnips to stay put in the pan. In fact, this pan's great. I'm getting quite a lot in here. That's great. There we go. Look at that, that's the perfect amount. Right, now, in goes the salt. Very important, using a bit of Maldon sea salt now. That's enough salt for the whole thing. That salt's going to draw out the moisture of the parsnips and allow us to poach those parsnips in the butter before we get the roasting going on as well. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of fresh thyme in there. Oh, I love fresh thyme. Pop that in there, and then it's going to get a cartouche. So, nice fitting cartouche on the top. Remember, this is all cold. You could do this in the morning, pop out to the shops, pop to do whatever you want to do, get your parsnips ready like that. Don't have to cook them just yet. It's going to get a cartouche, like so. And now we're going to go onto our heat, and we're going to go pretty hard, almost kind of medium high heat at this point to try and get that butter melted and foaming as soon as we can. And there's a process here, hot, cold, hot, cold. Stay with me and I'll show you how we do it. Okay, now these parsnips, if you come in here close, whoa, we're getting dark here, right? This feels like scary time, and it is. And you need to be super brave with these. You need to be much braver than you think. This dark brown, I'm getting really big burnt noisette kind of smells going on here. This butter is really dark, and these parsnips are simmering away here. They're stuck to the same part of the pan that they went in on. I've not shaken the pan around. That's really important, so we keep that nice and steady. Okay, at this point here, we're going to stop. We're going to put our cartouche back on. We're going to pop them onto a trivet so we don't burn my table. And then we're going to, and it feels, honestly, I can't tell you, that butter is really dark. I'm a bit scared they're going to burn, and you need to be at that place if you want to achieve this kind of result. That wants a weight on top now. It could be a meat press or whatever, but I'm going to use a couple of plates just to pop those on there. So what that's doing is that's pressing those parsnips into the pan, giving us a compression, so they're really pushed into the butter. And secondly, it's holding more of the steam in there, so they're going to cook even quicker. So off the heat completely. That wants to sit there for 20 minutes now. Okay, so here's our lovely parsnips. Let's pull that over there. So that's had 20 minutes. It's all nice and cooled down. I can handle that now. You just peek under here. Look at that. They're all settled. Sat in their little bath of brown butter. God, they smell good. These want to go back on again now. They're going to come back up to foaming heat again. Get them super soft. Another rest. And we're golden. Literally. Leave that in, Sam. Your literally was better than mine. Okay. Okay, you come in, Sam. You see that how dark that butter is again. Right. Off. So you're taking the butter to a really dark stage again for a second time. With a potato, you would then turn that down and gently confit the potato in the fat like that, in the butter. With a parsnip, I find it's a much better way to do it like this. Super brown again, off again, cartouche back on, plates back on. We are golden. Let's look at those parsnips now. So that pan's had another 20 minutes. So in total, if we recap on this, huge colour on the butter, off they go, plate on top, 20-minute rest. Back on the stove, up to a huge colour again, almost a bit scary, and be brave at that point. Off they go, 20-minute rest. That's it. It's as simple as that. It's the cutting in the beginning that's important, the nice gentle peeling that's important, and the weight on top. Let's see what we've got there. And you think I've had a sneak preview of this? I haven't. I've just gone brave. I've been brave. I've gone for it. So off comes the cartouche. They're still warm, so they're still serving temperature now. All right, how do they look? Glass ready parsnips. Look at those, look. Absolutely incredible. I love a parsnip like that. Absolutely beautiful. And just tastes like parsnip. Beautiful. What else are you having in your Christmas dinner? What else are you putting in that centerpiece? Put it in the comments, let me know. While you're there, do me a huge favour. Like, subscribe, keeps the channel going. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Happy Christmas.